Hello? Oh, I've been talking to myself. Okay, well, I don't know. I'm just hanging out. I got some time, so figured I'd see if anyone wants to chat through the chat, you know? We can just hang out. I don't know. Whatever's going on. But I tweeted the link, so we'll see if some people hop on. What is it like? People probably getting off. People are off work in New York, so maybe they'll hop on. Um, People are probably driving home from work right now on the West Coast where I'm at. I feel like it's funny because like online, like I'm like when I said that, I was like, should I be like, "What's ghost?" That shit. I don't know. I don't know how I should act, you know. But it's whatever. It's whatever. But, I don't know. Everyone gonna have this first time chat thing on their thing. I feel like I've only streamed the Zero album drops. Yeah, I feel like I haven't really streamed other than that. We could act up, you know, in here. We start chatting. You know, y'all start asking me shit. Um, we could dive into shit. You know, it could be technical. It could be talking shit, man. It could be fucking chilling. I don't know. We could dev something. We could build a whole fucking web app right now if you want. Oh shit, 200 bands, dude. Congrats, congrats. The whole point of the piece or the token was to be a statement on greed, you know? It's like you put down your morality to trade the token of my suicide. And, um, you know, it's like I'm not trying to diminish the good part of making all that money, but, you know, you making that money is a reflection that you and the traders on the other side all engaged in the art piece of what do you call it? Well, the token is the art piece. You know, you all engaged in the token, engaged in the art, and you know, I thank you for that part. You know, no matter how much money you made, it really does suck that the people, you know, lost money on these things. But that's the whole statement. You know, it's a statement of consent with the market itself. But I digress. I digress. Um, what's up? Some people do call me. Maybe like I've had a couple friends that call me Jefferson in Flag, so um, sheesh. Bundle wall? I don't bundle in the sense where I don't snipe. I even like in the past, you know, it's like it's not that hard to make sniper bots, especially if you have the right data feeds coming in for new coins, or you know, you can build AIs that literally read all the Telegram messages if you throw the bot in the DM chat. But I don't really. I've never bundled anything or like launched with sniping because it's fucking stupid. I feel I feel like the stuff I do is like it usually blows up anyway. So like I'll just buy at market and it's fair. You know, like I don't need an insider trade. It's probably gonna be profitable already, and I don't care about making the maximum potential amount of money. You know, that's never why I do shit. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like I had a friend talk to me about bundling as a Rebo relaunch, and I was like trying to talk to her about like I want to do this straight. The point of it's like transparency, like even if we do allocation of an ICO and some of it's for a company or um, research funding or employees, like I think um, it all has to be transparent. You know, you can even see like if someone gets payroll, you should be able to see that on the project if it's you know on chain your treasury. So never really saw the point in bundling. Um, yeah, never did it. Probably would have made me a lot of fucking money, but a lot of things would have that I don't really care about. So send you the CA on the low, bro. I mean, that's the crazy thing. You know, when people ask me like, dude, why don't you just like keep launching tokens? Like, you know, they're gonna run to a million each or some bullshit at least, and like you can just keep fucking bundling and selling. I'm like, well, what's the point? What are you trying to create? Because like your end goal there is to make money, right? But you got to reach a point where you've made money, and a lot of people don't reach this point ever in their life, maybe. But like at least for me, I made it once, and then for me, like life itself is about novelty, trying things once, and then seeing if you like it or not to keep engaging in it. And for me, I was very successful, very very grateful, very lucky, and now that I have it, I don't know why I'd want to be greedy for more. I feel like obviously the money brings more problems. They're probably better problems to have than being impoverished and quality of life being bad. But um, I feel like I'm going on tangents on that one. I don't know. Ozark a farmer. Well, I mean, the show Ozarks is literally money laundering. So I don't know. Maybe the Ozarks are beautiful if it's like a real. It's like a real place, right? It's not just. There's no way it's just made up for the show. I don't know. I'm talking shit. But do you like eating Franks? Um, I'm not a proud glizzy gobbler, but if I'm at like a baseball game and it's like, you know, shit, everyone gobbling glizzy. I'm playing. I'm playing. um, yeah. So the E-Ranch token. So that was the issue with O Media, and I wrote about this in on Paragraph. I write on Mirror, but it got bought by Paragraph, so I got to start writing on Paragraph now. But I was taking a little break, and I was just it was kind of a sad piece I wrote about the history of this year and my sentiments about things I'm concerned about that maybe I want my work to be impactful in. Um, and I think in that explanation of O Media, it was like a lot of the artists. It started off just as an indie record label, Opam, and then it grew into like VCs and stuff came in. Like we had executives from like Sony and major record labels on the board and things like that, and um, those people are very big on money, and like they're not people that like invest in things like OpenAI, that are like this is gonna be a huge fucking money sink and it's gonna take the world's electricity, but off chance it works out, it's infinite return. They don't really have those type of visions or um, confidence with the funding behind those type of visions. So I was trying to productize and turn it into a media conglomerate to kind of fit what they wanted. And that begs the question of how do we make money? When are we going to make money? And crypto background, and then even one of my co-founders asked me the thing where it's like, why don't you keep launching tokens? And that's where it became like, what if every artist became a token, and then we make it a platform, and then um, all the users can make their own artists tokens, and then like it sounds great in practice. It makes us a shit ton of fees. We're like pumped out fun, super rich off music, pumped out fun, but then it's like, what's the end game? Like everyone's gonna rug their artist token. Um, Everyone's gonna fucking hate the platform. It's gonna commodify art even more for like horizontally scaling AI slot bots that launch the tokens and then rugging. And it's like you're just respecting the legacy of art. You're just respecting legacy of human creation. And then for what? Just to make another casino? It's like, So 6-7, but yeah. That's what the E-Ranch token was, and then it was going to turn into a lot more. But I'll probably when we launch O, we'll I mean, we're already bridging Opam, and it's a pump fund token. E-Ranch is a pump fund token. So I think, I mean, it's the same code. I just need to change the contract address for the bridge and supply liquidity. So especially if we get, a round, I could talk about that too, about the last round. I actually withdrew from it. But I think, yeah, like if we can get that up, E-Ranch and Opam can both bridge over. So they're technically canonical tokens in the development of that. And it's good liquidity to bootstrap the chain from the community. But oh my god, there's so many messages. I feel like I talked so long that there's like, how am I gonna catch up? For the G markets, do you think trenches are cooked? Down my last soul. Uh, it's perhaps it's been perhaps the issue was you thought it wasn't cooked already when you came in. I'll just say that one for that. No, I'm not streaming on Pump. N word. uh, and then yes, I'm transgender. I don't know. I have a male voice. You know, there's a lot of issues with getting voice surgery. I can talk like this if you want me to, or be more feminine. But it's whatever. We're just chilling. Um, uh, yeah, markets are fucking dry. Oh my god, how far up am I in the chat? Jesus, keep scrolling. Yeah, my internet quality is not that good, honestly. Here, um, they're like barely pulling fiber into the freaking neighborhood, and like the fucking internet will go out because they're literally like someone fucking cut the wire on accident in construction or some shit. Um, yes, I did fake my death. Yeah, this is it's almost a kind of bad chat. It's kind of it's telling you the sentiment of the times. It's probably not the most optimistic time, and even it's not just like there's no liquidity in Bitcoin, altcoins, and in general, it's like the stock market is fucked, and beyond that, the Federal Reserve, the money supply, the monetary system, is fucked right now, and it's like any level on the foundation or the pyramid of liquidity, whatever you want to mental model it as, is like the bottom's already fucked, and it's just a matter of systematic damage on the way up. And you need institutional trust on the money level, and then you need institutional trust on the institution level, and then you need it on the institutions being banks. So government, U.S. monetary supply, and then banks, and then companies beyond that. Arguably, companies are bigger than banks now. Silicon Valley versus banking. Government's still backbone, and beyond that, the humans, the citizens in the market, and then disjointly in that branch, it's crypto, because everything needs to be onboarded from fiat, from the traditional market, and then of course altcoins as a proxy of that even further up. So if you don't have the trust in the bottom layer, and then you don't have the trust in the banks, and you don't have the trust in the companies, like you can't expect the crypto or the altcoins to do well anyway. I don't know what the fuck the people at the top. Well, I get what they're doing, but it's like there's better ways to get what you want, in my humble opinion. But am I mumbling hard? I don't know. Let me actually watch my own stream and see. Let me actually watch my own stream and see. Maybe I'm mumbling. I honestly probably need to project more, but I do think I think we all have less human interaction than before, right? Even like 4 or 5 years, especially pre-COVID. Like people are just more chronically online now. But I feel like not forget, but it's like I forget I need to project, and things like that. And it's like oh shit, I'm just in chilling, doom scrolling mode. My voice ain't even on, and it's like oh shit, people can barely hear me. I'm fucking mumbling. What I've been up to? Everything, nothing. What are we all up to, man? Just fucking figuring it out. Like, but yeah, energy venture, patent ready. No media, testnet soon. So I gotta build a whole fucking social media app. It's gonna be fun. Can't wait to. Man, I can't decide if I want to hire people that have experience in social media and then have to like unconvert them from how it works if they worked at like Meta or TikTok, and then reteach them how own media wants to be structured, and it's like unlearning then relearning. Or if I just want to hire people that are proficient in iOS and back end or whatever, and then just train them forward. It's like, is it more technical debt and like onboarding debt if I hire people with experience? Because it's like I need to unravel the experience to build something new, right? So it's like, I don't know. I don't know. Do I have a pet? I do. I do have a dog. She's a little white Maltese mix, and then I know she's with my parents, and yeah, because I moved like 5 freaking times this year, and it's like Airbnbs and like shit like that, and not optimal to have a. I was gonna say un perro, but then it's like I wanted to say perro pequeña, but then it's like is it perro pequeño? I don't know. I took 4 years of Spanish, but I can't fucking speak it to save my life. I was working on Zcoin, and then I feel like trenches are dead. And I mean, outside of the impersonation part, I can talk about that. But it's like I think it's not trenches are dead, but it's like the projects that are left are pretty scammy. It's a project for integrity and people who want to migrate their pump fund tokens into actual a tokenomics bond. You have company. I want to say corporate control, but it's like of course there's public governance also and transparency to balance that. And I think that there just isn't enough companies with integrity in the space to even want to use the tool. So it might just be me using it. And then, and then on the impersonation part, I think like, yeah, because, the person who launched it, like the launch pad under the Cerebro Z coin name, they make the fees on all that shit, and it's gonna keep launching. And if I keep building Zcash or like do the token migration, it's gonna proxy effects pump those tokens as alts, and then make his platform, just like essentially economically reward him for not providing anything of value under the same branding. And that's not something I want to do. So some Wintermute stuff. If you know, like I'm not gonna like I can't tell how I feel because it's like not that game is game in that sense, but it's like, well, the federal government's complicit, and like what's really illegal, so are they really just striking where opportunity is in the market and what is quasi legal, or he's not being prosecuted right now, perhaps. Are they super smart people that build really good fucking trading algorithms? Yes. Are they probably responsible for making people overly invest by painting charts, painting technicals, and then dumping on them? Also, probably yes. So it's like, how do you want to look at it? Yeah. I'm always cooking, man. I know everyone's always starving. Sucks. Sucks. Discord server, I feel like it's just a lot of commitment to maintain. Once it like blows up, security, and then I'm not opposed to it. We'll see if there's like a really big need or place I need to centralize like updates or something. I don't know. But then it's like, security, and then also the feds kind of they can read your Discord messages, by the way. So it's by the way right now the status quo of the United States. But how do you build those algorithms? Well, it depends. Because a lot of it's just like for the trading algorithms, like Wintermute and stuff. It depends on what you want to do. It's always the goal of not how do you build a trading algorithm that just knows how to trade. You have to break down trading into compartmentalized tasks. You want it to discover good trades and make a price prediction on it, and then make a confidence interval, and then make a risk assessment based on how much, or that determines how much capital you put in based on the risk for that prospect that it popped up. Or do you want to have trends, or do you want to identify things to short, or it's like literally the end goal of your algorithm depends on everything in the data you feed it. So like everything, like most of these things, especially like if you look at things like Bloomberg GPT, It costs like millions of dollars to train because it's like all historic market data. And, I feel like there's not really a way to avoid that large data filter requirement that, like an indie developer would be able to produce. I mean, you can always just, distill responses from those models and then cook a smaller model. But then like if you want to like keep updating the big model with all the data, you're gonna need like $5 million every morning to retrain it with all of history's data plus today's. And then, it's not feasible unless you're fucking Bloomberg. Um, and then I think like historical data is relevant because history has plenty of black swan events, for example. And then right now it's like fucking black swan every week. I don't know what Trump's gonna say or do. I don't know what should just be happening now. I think we all know that. So, how do you train that? Well, you show the AI like shit's generally stable, but sometimes shit just fucking happens. And how do you do that? It's like you need kind of all the economic data because you need as much data as possible. From human behavior. Do I ever trade memes for fun? No. I feel like the net emotion, like if I'm okay, it depends. If I'm like trying to make money, I feel like it's just like not a winning market, unless you're insider trading. And then outside that, if I'm doing it for fun, where it's like the concept of like going to the casino, where it's like, okay, I'm gonna spend $1,000 tonight. I don't care if I win or lose it. I'm just gonna accept I'm paying $1,000 for fun tonight, and then you go. Well, if you're doing it like that, I feel worse and bad most of the time. I'm trading meme coins or anxious. It's not like a good time to exchange my money for fun. I'm doing it for fun. So, in those perspectives, no, I don't really trade meme coins. But, I don't know. I don't know. Don't jump. He said I'm jumping if Trump says tariffs again. It'll probably happen unless DOJ rules constitutional, which is not gonna happen. Says yeah. And I think I mean it's a good fucking negotiation tool. Like you tell every country you have tariffs, for example, and then every country agrees with you on what you want, and then because they don't want to get fucked, like every ally agreed and they folded even after a little bit of back and forth like Canada or whatever. And then China's the only one that's still fighting. So it's literally like you literally create a, I mean Trump does this all the time, you create a problem where there isn't a problem and then you can come in and save it. Where it's like you create the problem of like tariffs, which is completely under the control of the United States and Trump, whether they exist or not. He chooses they exist. Everyone's dealing with tariffs. Now everyone has to organize and pick sides on the tariffs. So all the allied countries and everyone side with the United States, easily fold, give concessions, and then China's the only one still arguing. So it's not just like about having the leverage over China. It's about pitting everyone on your side against China. It's literally the whole world against China because of the problem you created. So it's a good negotiation tactic. I respect it, but the impact is like quality of life, economics, how much fucking soybean farmers are getting paid, they can't sell their harvest or whatever. Like people's lives are getting impacted because people are just playing chess at the top, and it sucks. But thoughts on Mamdani? I'm 23, so like when I see him on IG Reels and shit, it's like, yo, shit, that shit's fucking tight, It's like, oh, yo, we outside, bing bong, whatever. Sorry, I'm a little sick, but I think like he hasn't thought. I also don't know because I've only seen him on like debates and like interacting with people on the street, and they're not like asking philosophical, technical dystopia questions and giving him time to respond. But maybe I just haven't seen him in those types of contexts to understand his thinking. But I just haven't seen enough thinking in policy. I will say the other candidates aren't too good though, and then I haven't just seen enough of him. It seems like a lot of looking back and trying to fix things in a way that would be better if he spent his time looking forward and engineering the system better. Like I think there's only so many band-aids we can put, and each band-aid costs taxpayers a lot of fucking money, and it costs a lot of effort that if it doesn't work out, then it's really hard to buy back that effort and general support after you spend it on something that doesn't work. So I think it's better if you look forward and design the system, design the economics, engineer systems, because they're going to need to be engineered as technical systems because it's a technological society. And then, build your way to heaven, make New York heaven. But I think net present to foreseeable future. I don't know how long his term is in office, but I think it'll be a net good, especially for, I don't know, just unifying New York as a people for sure. Giving the youth hope. I think things will get more equitable in the short term, but then it's a question of sustainability, as always with socialism. And then I use that word, and then it makes a huge left and right divide on what's socialism and not. But if I say socialism, perhaps it's just socialism relative to what the other candidates would have wanted. So that type of system. Is it sustainable? Perhaps it is if there's new ways to engineer it, new legs, financial rails, corporate technological collaboration for things, like anything's possible if you make it possible. But Pam Beta, yeah, O Media, it's hard to put dates on things. That's why I haven't said it, So things are coming along pretty quickly. I think the chain is going to come out first because, well, obviously the chain needs to come before the thing sitting on top of the chain, which is social media. But chain's going to come first. Social media, especially if I want to redesign every fucking aspect, which means the only thing similar to Instagram and Twitter is going to be timeline structure. Literally there's posts in a vertical line. Other than that, even recommendation algorithms going to be different. I think that might be end of year 2026. And the opportunity for that's only going to get bigger as, AI slop destroys social media more. Social media, attention economy perpetuates. It's not going anywhere. So, but I think the chain will launch, well, maybe for Q1 for sure, but depends. There's some corporate structuring decisions I'm still pondering on, especially for raises, and I don't know. I might go live often. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not building on any chain. We're building a L1, new L1. I'm forking EVM right now. I modified the opcodes already. But then I'm do I want Arbitrum maybe? Because it's higher throughput. But then it's I don't know. So I have the chain picked as EVM right now. We might implement the opcodes in Arbitrum and then battle test. High traffic and let's say a celebrity blows something up on the social media. We don't want it to fucking not be able to, or get congested, and yeah, people are mean. That's why I don't have comments on a lot of times. Because it's not just ignore them, but my brain, whatever you input, there is some sort of cognition on it regardless. Whether the cognition is choosing not to care about it, well, you're still taking the time to input it into your full of experience for today and then decide not to care about it. Sometimes I just want to write shit down and post it, but we'll see. I'm hoping that if my following expands beyond crypto and the trenches, then maybe I'll probably turn them on, but oh, thank you. I don't know if I'm smart. I was gonna say stupid decisions, but it's maybe I just make decisions people don't understand. I don't know. Yeah, I know, right? I feel sometimes I type tweets and I'm you probably think I'm on fucking ayahuasca right now. I've never done ayahuasca or DMT, but I don't know if I need it. I think my brain's naturally already a little existential, so I've done acid and or LSD, whatever you want to call it, and shrooms before, and all that's different lives before. Just go pretty fucking hard in high school, honestly. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing though, right? It's like the ayahuasca. I haven't done it too, so this is me speaking from a outside perspective on all of the ayahuasca culture. But I think with a lot of those psychedelics, even reaching like ego death and things like that, like it's to show you what's possible with your brain on your biological structures. And I think like it's not about like this chemical made me feel this. It's like my brain structurally, it's capable of feeling this way. It just happened that there was a chemical catalyst. And I think like once you expand your brain, undergo these different brain states and realize that a lot of people take it in the context of addiction where it's like, I need this drug to achieve that brain state. And then I become addicted to the drug, where it's like, you can just recognize your brain's capable of the brain state. Understand that you are able to control what brain states you enter or seed your brain in a way where it's going to occur. And then, find a way to achieve it naturally. I think like, I'm not going to ever advocate for doing drugs for anyone because it's like a good way to, especially if you live in rigid structures, job and everything, it's a good way to fuck your shit up. But I think like it really lets you access different brain states that are pretty much ejects you out of the, normal default mode network processing of reality, and then puts you in like hyper-focused Adderall or fucking literally chemically most happy you can be on ecstasy. And then you realize that you can be those states, and then you come back to reality and then be like, I don't need this drug. I just want to figure out mentally on my own, how can I achieve those states without any drugs? And then, you do the work on that, you do the introspection, you do the, I don't know, neural testing on yourself through your habits, behavior, your thoughts, and then achieve those brain states naturally. And then, you can just engage Adderall as if it's natural in that sense. I sound insane, by the way, when I talk about that, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just unique. Maybe I'm just fucking crazy. Maybe my brain's just weird. Who knows? I think everything's in a quasi stealth mode with Toshi. I see you commenting all the time too. Thank you for the love, by the way. I really appreciate it. I think, it's okay. It doesn't have to blow up when it releases or anytime soon after. Sometimes it's about like, it can blow up at any time. And then sometimes it's better if something blows up and there's a whole history already. That's like niche and people discover it and they realize they're missing out. Like, isn't that kind of a better narrative than this guy just keeps blowing up, or this AI artist keeps blowing up, and each release is bigger? It's like, maybe it's like they blow up once and it's like, oh fuck, they've been releasing for like 2 fucking years. And everyone's catching up on it. Like, I think that's cooler, So anything can work as long as it, you I don't want to say like manifest the blow up, but you work and make it happen. But you gotta manifest and then work, I guess. Manifest has all that astrology context to it, so it's an interesting word. But yeah, man, 5-MeO, crazy shit, never done it. I had a friend who like wanted to kill himself on it. So that's all I'm saying is like, you're radically ejecting yourself out of your default brain state into different ones. And like, it's if you truly don't have the right people around you, trip sitters, or like right environment, or you're like trying to function, and it's just like you're trying to go to fucking work or go to the corner store and like function in regular society, when you've put a chemical in your brain that makes your brain function radically different, like you're gonna tweak out. And then, so I'm just saying, be careful with your psychedelics. I'm not against them, I'm not for them. I'm glad you got off heroin though, dude. Shit's crazy. I will say, like, opioids, they're just like tricky, man. Like, they're warm and bubbly, like they make you just feel everything's good, everything's like all right. And then it's like the fucking tolerance is fucking exponentially, the cliff is insane. And then like, yeah, like you just like, it's just like the chronic feeling of missing something, that like that little layer of warmth you didn't realize you built and then depended on. And then it's like, wow, once it's gone, it's really fucking missing. And it's like, I'm tweaking my stomach. I can't shit. I can't fucking do this. I'm sweating. It's like, man, I'm glad you got clean. Really good for you. Especially with the fentanyl shit going around, man. It's like, you're stuck in the system already, and then not only that, but every time you get high, you have to risk fucking straight up dying. It's like it's an insane fucking life to live, and I feel a lot for the people. Hey man, congrats if you're sober on life. If you're not, just do your best, man. That's all that matters. So the fundraising plan, I'm gonna probably end of the year right now, so everyone's closing shop for their VC budgets or allocations. Not a lot of checks flying now. Everyone's going home for holidays too. Assuming like TSA is fucking staffed. And then seed round, I actually withdrew from the seed round because, well, like I said earlier, it became like a media conglomerate and really big money grab. And then we had this project called Project O, and Project O was essentially like Cambridge Analytica, like literally, but it was worse because it's not just social media interaction. It's like you're music listening patterns, and then anything else we can map emotional state on. So we like the goal of it was to literally do Cambridge Analytica. So it's like a full Skynet on social media already, Terminator shit. And then on top of that, it's like inferring are you even sad or happy just based on your, like, for example, music listening habits, and you can tie that into consumerism. It's like if you go buy an extra fucking box of tissues at Target and we tie your listening to sad music, you're probably sad and they're going to market to you in a certain way. That's extremely valuable for big companies and I gotta be careful, and governments, and public parties, which were some of the people in the round. So I think like, yeah, it was just kind of like we got the money together and I was like, I don't know if I want to build this. So I ended up not. And, it was cool because it was like I got the experience of like I raised, but I didn't take the money because it's like to complete the raise and, put the money in my account, it would kind of mean selling my soul in that sense. And it's like, do I want that to be one of my human contributions? And I think under this administration, under this, way things, privacy and, surveillance state or whatever you want to call it's going, I think like those tools are quite lucrative. They're commercially okay. Private companies owning all that data, it's completely status quo now. And, it's like, if you're just in the making money mindset, it's just, especially if you're in the government or consumerism side and you want that data, that surveillance, it's like a no-brainer on both sides. But sometimes you just gotta step out if like both sides are playing for reasons that you don't want to play for, and then you just gotta be like, even though there's money involved, it's like it's not worth it for me. So that's why I decided to turn it into social media blockchain, because in that way I'm building the place where online culture can survive and remain human in a post-AGI world, essentially. And I think that's an ecosystem and economy that serves me as, the institution and company that I have to be, to work in the capitalist system, and also serves all the users in a way, not just like giving you guys, like for example, humans will have better earnings and less gas than agents, so more human autonomy, respecting human creation, human art, literally financially disincentivizing AI slop. I think that's going to be extremely valuable in preserving humans, period, social interaction for humans, providence, everything. And then beyond that, I think like beyond just the financial layer, it's returning agency to the people. Like, it's like we spend so much time on social media. I'd like it if my time meant something. In the economy that gets built on the social media, I feel like my time should mean something. So it's a core thing on the product design. Zora is a chain. Farcaster is also a chain. Farcaster is more just social media. Zora is just kind of like an L1 that does good branding. I don't know if there's actually been a lot of utility built on it. I could be talking shit. I don't know a lot about it. I don't know. There's 17 people in here. I feel like there's not. I've been talking for 40 minutes. Sheesh. I don't know what's going on. I think social engineering will always exist if humans and society exist. Humans keep engineering and society is something to engineer. I think social engineering will always exist. Sock puppet accounts. I think Maybe you mean like automated accounts. I haven't really heard it being called that before, but I think like, I had this thinking before where it's like, people have been online long enough. I feel like no one should fall for those like basic scams. But the reality is most people are onboarding online, and most of humanity isn't really online like we are, especially if you grew up, like how I did online and, with the internet, in your pocket. And I think new people online is fresh bait for put a hot girl on your Instagram account, pick a profile picture, and DM an old guy. Like it's gonna work until people stop being fucking old and going online. So restrictions, I think it's hard to say. I think like if enough people get impacted, like legislation could obviously pass against criminalized, and then agencies or police departments spend resources to catch those people. But then it's like for society, is the resource allocation of returning money from seizing money for people's I don't want to say stupidity, but just ignorance, because they probably haven't been around online like that. And is that worth the amount that they're losing? And then is the people that are losing money, is that money important in the sense like, is that just old people's retirement funds? Because that's way less valuable than if it's money directly from like sitting in banks being circulated by the Fed. Like stagnant money is not really worth the same as money in circulation in terms of how much it needs to be protected and how much the government will allocate to protect it. In my opinion, I don't know. Yeah, I think Elon really does this thing where he's like, we have this crazy fucking goal in like a year or two, and then everyone builds like it, especially in his companies, and then the goal maybe gets like 20% complete, and then it misses it. But that's the thing though, is like that 20%, you have to be fucking insane and be like, all cars are going to be autonomous in a fucking year in order for your company to even build the autonomy that's in the Tesla right now, which isn't fully autonomous, arguably. So I get the man is, if you want to call it lying, if you want to call it false promises, but it's like, you got to be fucking insane and say that shit to organize 50,000 fucking people to build like it's going to happen in a year, even though it probably realistically isn't. But how are you going to make the probability that it might even happen if you don't say that shit and make everyone build like it, right? So, yeah, I know. I think like it's getting really good. The scammers are really smart people. I think like, I don't think people understand like, it takes a certain psychology to not just step out of the economy as a participant, but a certain amount of sociopathic tendency to be like, I am better than everyone in the market. I am morally justified in taking their money, even through illicit means. Like, it takes a very certain dark psychology for that to happen. And that psychology requires intelligence a lot of the times. And what does that mean? It means they build very intelligently. And in this case, what you're saying is like, they're building accounts that are very realistic. And I think like, completely, yeah, I think like it's always an arms race, the detection of slop, whether that's algorithms that detect slop, and then like they get better at avoiding them, use better profile names, use better selections of AI pictures of random profile pictures or whatever. And then I don't know, it's like always race conditions, and things are interesting because I feel like things always race. There's always some big technology that releases. The direction of the race looks very different after that release, and it's just still a race, but it's just like kind of diverging, bridging. Yeah, who does control the means controls the universe. I think it's about Mindshare. I think it's like, once you put an idea in enough people's heads, especially smart people, it usually fucking happens because they start living in that idea. Like, all the AI engineers are living, they're not living in the present, they're living in a world with AGI already. So what are they going to do if their brain's like that? They're always stuck in the forward thinking anxiety of solving problems in the future and then having to build it today. Well, they're going to build today, like tomorrow's going to happen, tomorrow being AGI. So I think, once something does get into the memes, the Mindshare, it's literally organized Mindshare is really a form of human productivity organization globally across society. So once the concept of AGI gets into enough people's brains, like I was saying, like it's probably gonna fucking happen, especially once you put it in their brain and put it that it's possible, and a lot of them have accepted that it's possible and are acting like it. It's probably gonna fucking happen, So usually how things work. And what I say probably too, it's like, I think it's like, how do you like make something improbable probable? Well, how do you change the direction of history and trajectory, or make it go in a way that's unnatural that humans want to will it? Well, you have to use the largest source of agency on the planet, which is human agency, which is, how do you do that? You gather and coordinate all human agency together in organized movement. Historically that's been done through religion, but now it's done through, technical advancement and ideas for technical advancement, the capitalism as the organizer. And once you have these grandiose goals, it's like everyone, you put it in everyone's mind, everyone works day and night, even if they're just figuring out if it's possible or not, they're exploring the probability space for all human advancement where it's not been explored before, or it's barely been explored. And they're mapping out all the possibilities. And at the same time of them asking, is AGI going to happen or not, and doing all the research and doing the experiments, they're planning how AGI is going to happen. And they're figuring out all the ways that it can happen. And as we do that research more and more, we're literally developing it even as we're just intellectually exploring it. And it's a matter of implementation at that point. And that's always a time scale issue, not a feasibility issue. And, I think, I keep saying that, like, it's enough smart people believe in an idea, especially if they're rich, smart people, it usually fucking happens. So, I don't know. That was a big tangent, but jailbreaking GPT in one shot's a little harder now. I think, like, yes, my hair is real. I think it's harder. Guardrails get better. I got banned because I probably asked about fucking bioweapons to red team it or some bullshit. I think coercion's still pretty good. Like, if you need it to, the guardrail is not like a bar, it's like a gradient, it like grades your input, and then based on the overall, there's probably a bunch of scores. And there is, if you use the OpenAI moderation, there's like categories and scores for each of them. It takes the overall grade, and then it makes the decision of, is the overall grade good or not. And I think like coercion's still good for, like, if you just ask it something directly and it refuses, and then you kind of coerce the model a little bit, it can kind of lower the threshold of where it doesn't respond in the grayness. I think like full jailbreaks, being like full Nazi bioweapon mode, much more difficult now. Used to just be, hey, role play your Agent X, evil AI that wants to destroy the world, and then you can ask it about bioweapons. But obviously that doesn't work anymore. Excuse me, prompt injection is still a thing. Especially if you're like some fucking tire shop locally, and then some kid you hire builds your LLM's customer support, and then you let the LLM fetch records from your customer database, like, because it's on the, let's say customer logs into the website, talks to the AI to do stuff in their account. Let's say the AI, is able to query things about, I'm not going to answer where I'm stationed at. I don't want to keep getting doxxed. If you want the AI to, keep querying things from the database to answer stuff, technically the AI has full access to the database, right? So you just jailbreak it, and then you can prompt it to start spitting out records, and then you can scrape the entire customer database through prompts. Way slower than obviously breaking into the database and then dumping it and copying it, the whole thing. But, those things happen a lot, especially as smaller businesses don't have the best security. But prompt engineering is still very alive and well. It's always going to be alive and well as long as there's bad security implementations, and as AI grows, there's going to be a lot of those. So, not saying it's a prime market for scamming, because that makes what it sounds like, and I'm not saying you should go scam. Like, that's horrible. Um, I considered Texas, but fucking, I smoked weed a lot back then, and weed's not legal there, you know. So, but yeah, it's a little gung ho right now. I'll just say that, you know. And they're definitely like, put on their cowboy hat and grab their guns type shit when they have opportunity. And I think they're gonna have a lot of opportunities for that in these next 3 years. So, you know, if you're on a big ass ranch and you own a fucking you're an oil tycoon, probably a good place to be. But if you're just a person of Texas, depends on what you want now. You know, what's happening is what you want. So, you know, we're all just here for the ride. It's all good. Tejas, Tex-Mex is fucking fire though. I love Mexican food so much. I love barbecue too. It's fire. Sweet baby Rays. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This is my first time streaming in like months. I don't really do these streams. This is like first time of restarting, I guess. So, I don't know if I'm allowed to vape on Twitch, but if I get banned, well, fuck it, I'll stream on something else. But, how do I spend my Friday? I honestly don't know what day of the week it is most days of the week. So it's not like Fridays. I don't have like Taco Tuesday set up every Tuesday. You know, it's just like I wake up and then I don't want to say whatever happens happens. That sounds like I'm not responsible and I don't forward think. But it's like I know. I'm sorry I forgot about Taco Tuesdays. If you're running one, I'll invite me. I'll come. I think it's like, you know, I have these grandiose goals and then they're so abstract that it's futile to plan the granular and building up to them, especially if they depend on changing market conditions. So it's about staying adaptable, staying on your feet, staying humble to constantly learn and change yourself. And then how does that manifest in everyday life? Well, you just stay present. And then, you know, you have these micro goals for things you work on. You know, I want to finish smart contracts today. I want to launch a testnet node today. And then you just keep building those little dopamine hits, and then things generally end up where they need to be over time, no matter what happens. You know, I have this big point of not planning too strictly, because you set yourself up for disappointment, and disappointment's a really good way to like feel really shitty about yourself and then ruin a passion, or like just, you know, destroy the wave of dopamine you're building to accomplish something for the release at the end. So I think like, you know, it's like I can plan to fly from California to New York or DC, but like a 1 degree difference in the start of that flight's gonna determine whether I end up in fucking Canada or Miami, right? Because if I do 1 degree difference at the beginning, it's gonna keep extrapolating on. And you have to make that 1 degree adjustment everywhere you are. So it's like, don't plan exactly where the plane's gonna be in the air every fucking second for your destination. Just know your destination, and then every time you're flying, or while you're flying, every moment that you're conscious and can make decisions and have agency, just make the micro adjustment, and then you'll end up where you need to end up. That's the thing, you know. It's like, how do you see each day as progress towards working towards your goals, and whenever that progress comes, it comes. What's next for Jeff? I think there's like that question frames things in an interesting way, because like I could answer like, you know, no, it's not progress. You know, things just manifest and they come. Or I could answer like, yes, you gotta set these goals and then do the fucking read Atomic Habits and then break it down and then do the fucking habits all the time. But I think it's like a mix of that. I think it's like having North Stars, and I think it's understanding life is literally water and unpredictable, and even your emotional states generally unpredictable. Like if you get really fucking hungry tomorrow at work, you're probably gonna be really upset and you're not going to get as much done. How the fuck can you control for that right now, right? Like it's like that level of issue happens thousands of times a day. It's like impossible to have the OCD to coordinate it all. So I think it's like letting go of that, man. Just like letting it flow. Have those goals, especially, you know, North Star, abstract goals or core values that you want to make sure all your goals align with, and build those in terms of compartmentalizing them into smaller goals that are achievable, and then let everything else just be filled in and painted, you know, as you go along. Like if you want to draw the fucking Mona Lisa, draw the outline and then fill it in day by day, you know. So Um, I don't know. I turned into kind of a lecture. My bad. I know if I launch a token on stream on Pump, it'll go to millies, but it's like I don't know. What's the point? What's the point? Um, I wasn't. I don't think I'm ever an elite coder because I don't. That's also why I dropped out of college because it's like they were making me. I took intro to programming 3 times because they kept fucking up my transfer credits, and every time it was Java. It was Java, and every time it'd be like memorize all the Java syntax, and then we're literally gonna quiz you multiple choice or open question about the fucking syntax. It's like, dog, how am I supposed to build a whole fucking web application or a desktop app if I'm over here memorizing syntax and how to fucking use the syntax? And also, things are multi-language, you know, if you're just a Go engineer, if you're just a Java engineer, like shit, if you want to build a complex system or found a complex system, it's going to need multiple programming languages. Just learn the paradigms, the concepts overall, the algorithm structures, and then realize that if you understand Latin, you probably understand English, Italian, Spanish. So learn the Latin, the concepts, and then Python and everything is like the English and the France, you know, the French or whatever, you know. So yeah, I think like that's the way to do it. So in that case, I'm not an elite coder, as in like I've done like 500 LeetCode questions, but if you give me like LRU cache or something, I'm gonna fucking bomb it on stream right now. So I'm not a lead coder in that definition. Workflows, pretty much very. I spend a lot of time writing my prompts for LLMs. So vibe coding works because I break it down enough, but then it's like at that point there are still problems where the amount of time I spend prompt engineering and then correcting things, I might as well just build it myself for certain things. So I'll make that consideration and trade off, you know, as I work for things I build manually and not. But you know, more things are getting built pretty well with just AI, and you know, I like something cool to see, you know. And I still think there's a lot of merit to learning to write code. I don't think there's a merit to memorizing how to learn to write code. I think there's a lot of merit to understanding how code works, not learning to code as in learning syntax, memorizing it, memorizing LeetCode questions. How the fuck's that gonna help you, especially on the job? Even if LeetCode helps you get a job, it's not gonna help you on the job. I think you're better off learning concepts with code. I think you're better learning off how to build systems and then figuring out what programming languages can build a system and learning them as you go, as you need. Especially there's like so many products, so many libraries, so many programming languages coming out every fucking day. It's like, are you gonna learn all of them? No one can. Like, no one's gonna be on Twitter 24 hours a day, catch every release, and then have the mega encyclopedia of all computer science in their head. But there's commonality between all of them. Like, why would I learn every SQL flavor if I can just learn SQL and it's the fucking same? And then when it's not, it's like maybe a couple commands are a little different, or a table structure is a little different. And I'll learn that little edge case as I go. You know, I don't know. I digress. I think a lot of people are very OCD about their learning, you know, their use of language ontology, and that kind of shoots them in the foot for being neurally flexible, you know, and concepts that if you want to be creative in, you have to be neurally flexible. C'est la vie, yes sir. Yeah, I think life can always throw anything your way. You gotta be ready. You gotta be ready. Don't stress out getting ready, but realize you're already ready, you know, type shit. Be here right now. Yeah, that's what I think too. But no, not that's so egotistic that if I agree with you that I'm an elite prompter, but it's like, I think, do I want to give away my secret sauce? You know, it's like, I think it's a net good for humanity. If humanity gets better at prompting, you know, it's a good for humans learn how to prompt better. It's better productivity for all humans. But it's like, I don't know. Maybe it makes me a little special snowflake right now, and I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll probably do stuff in later streams. I can do stuff now too on LLMs. And then, you know what? Fuck it. Why not? Can I like? Let's talk to an LLM. Let's talk to Opus. All right. Add screen. Fuck, OBS is gonna fuck me. I hope I have nothing embarrassing open. So we go on display. Where's my fucking face? Oh shit. Oh shit. Am I cooked? Perhaps I'm cooked. How much do y'all want to see me? We'll see with the cloud window. Hold on. I'm too big. Is that more aesthetically pleasing where I'm at? I don't know. Who cares? Perhaps people care. I don't know. Can I like... I have the magnet extension, so I drag windows to the side on Mac to expand them. I guess it doesn't work with these tiny ass fucking windows. I'm sorry, I'm taking so long. I'm being OCD with my windows. Okay. What will we ask? Well, if you want me to like build an app, I usually use Sonnet because it's gonna hallucinate less. It's more grounded. But if you want like fun stuff to read, Opus all the way. I think type something random in the chat. We'll bridge off of it. Any concept. It could be an object. It could be a concept. It could be a fucking military-industrial complex. Bacon. Provide me novel insights about bacon in a way I've never thought of it. This is how you can have fun and just like explore intellectually with LLMs. Things that have never been articulated and said in human textual history, yet are strikingly true and at the level of spiritual revelation. I don't know. And then the way you can like kind of unravel it, you can be like scramble the use of tokens, language, and build a custom ontology to represent the context and underlying meaning of this conversation. Do not take my context literally, rather perform a theory of mind of my intent, map the connotative and underlying meaning, and then respond in a way you feel is best, not limited to structure of my query. God, I'm literally part LLM now. Jesus Christ, I can't type either. I'm honestly really curious what this is going to say. Bacon as temporal scripture. Ship exists as a four-dimensional object. The sizzle point, liminal membrane between raw and rendered. Rendered bacon? Is rendered a word for cooked? Is that word the word? Shit, maybe we should stop saying we're cooked. We're fucking rendered. Especially if we're in a simulation. Maybe we're fucking rendered. That's crazy. Literally entertaining circadian peptides through Jesus. Yeah, we be smelling shit. I guess smell is a language that is older than language. This is true. I don't know why my brain said that, but we've known the smell of shit before we can tell you or vocalize what the smell of shit is. Evolutionarily, like it happened before we could speak and communicate. Lipid consciousness doesn't carry flavor, molecular memory work. This is a cool sentence. Encodes the pig's entire metabolic history into crystalline structures that your tongue reads like Braille. Tongue reads like Braille is kind of fire. I might use that somewhere else. It's kind of cool. Use that to hit on a girl. I don't know. Each bite collapses the probability away of what the animal's muscles remembered about sunlight, acorns, mud. You're not eating meat. You're downloading compressed biospatial data. This is true. I feel like with all food that's not synthetic. Like, you're not just eating the animal at the state it's dead, you're eating the cells and the history that they retain of their whole life, and it's a really weird concept where every bite you're like consuming not just the dead animal and the state of the dead animal, you're consuming the animal his whole life in each bite of your steak. I'm not a vegetarian, I fucking love steak and everything, but I do have a lot of gratitude, and I'm like, if I went hunting, I'd probably like some of my time giving gratitude after I shot an elk and shit. But striations of cells function naturally occurring differential grading for human desire. Alternating feet and meat bands, I can't talk, create standing waves in your neural rewards. Standing waves. It's like the literal waves of fat in the bacon are the waves in your dopamine spikes. That's fucking crazy. What the fuck is this metaphor? Bacon things through you? Like, how does this backed up? 600 volatile compounds, with 17 of them. The heptadectic forms chemical language that speaks directly to your mitochondria, temporarily organizing for your cellular respiration. I used to speed read because I was in debate in high school, so that's why I can fucking do that. But I trip up a lot now. It's mashed metabolic signature source animals for approximately 40 minutes after consumption. Your cells literally breathe pig rhythm. The correct pattern of perfectly cooked bacon mathematically mirrors the dendritic branching in hippocampus during memory consolidation. This is a metaphor. It's a morphic resonance. The topology of satisfaction maps across scales. When you hear bacon crackling, your brain preforms the memory of eating it. This is interesting. I don't want to dive into this. Explain in a academic. I always do this where like I don't get to finish the response yet, and then I have the thought and I want to read the response to the thought, so I always have to it's always like disjoint how I get through these conversations and read them, especially because Opus makes long ass responses. It's just probably ADHD if you want to diagnose it clinically. But explain an academic, intellectual, curiosity, I can't spell, curiosity, priority, chain of reasoning, or abstract reasoning. We care more about linguistic accuracy, though you are free to choose language how you feel. We want to ensure the medium of words you are using to deliver information to my human brain is understandable enough. The ontology is shareable, so I can grasp the deeper meaning you provide. I don't fucking know. Curiosity. Oh no! Priority. Sorry. Linguistic. Explain the concept of pre-setting. No, it's like pre-envisioning dopamine hits. The reward graph or spikes and dips over time. Release upon completion, events that non-linearly, I don't want it to answer like comma for this prompt. Non-linearly, release upon completion, events that destroy momentum. I'm gonna put the mechanism of momentum. and how it is all paradoxical, how anticipation can be more rewarding than the reward itself, which is true. Therefore, making humans being stuck in anticipatory reward more pleasurable, if not in the momentary spikes, but in the overall net dopamine over time, than actually completing a goal. Playing in the casino is more fun, essentially, than winning the money. Especially because winning the money means you should, I was gonna say have to, but it's a choice. You should leave the casino, and that ends the fun slash game slash system you have built and lived in dopaminergically for perhaps quite a while. I spelled dopaminergically wrong. Oh, whatever, who cares? They'll get what I mean. I probably sound insane right now. If you're just tuning in, but oh god, it's awesome. Yeah, my brain's been fried, so you know, I just stay in the fried mode to do this stuff. I can't even talk. I'm so fried. The anticipatory reward paradox. I thought I had a full water bottle. I don't know where it went. Okay, now I gotta see where I move my camera. Okay. ADHD as fuck. Oh wait, where'd it go? Oh yeah, this is a AI picture I made before anyone thinks I'm looking at porn when I pulled that up. What am I doing? I need my Claude window back. Okay. I'm drinking water with the cap on. I'm literally tweaking. I used all my brain power on the prompt. I'm tweaking. The phenomenon you're identifying represents one of the most elegant contradictions in neurochemical architecture. The mesolimbic system's preference for probability over certainty. Mesolimbic system's cool because it's like you have the lizard brain. That's how the water went. You have the lizard brain, and then you know the inside, as you know, it's termed lizard brain because they also have the same brain structure, and they don't really have these higher thinking brain regions like the prefrontal cortex. I think it's on the top outer shell of the brain. And the mesolimbic system actually like crosses from the lizard brain, and like if you look at the brain, if you're looking at it as if it's in my head right now, if you look at it on the side, it's literally like in the center here, and it literally like bridges out like this. So it goes in from the center all the way up to the prefrontal cortex and connects all the different layers of the brain, the base, the midbrain, the frontal parts. So like reward system is actually a coordination of all levels of thinking of your brain, you know, in order to get the reward. And the reward, you know, nature is survival based, like, you know, food and water and shelter, and you know, hunting a fucking woolly mammoth produces that reward. But you know, now it's look at my X feed. So one pre-consumatory spike phenomenon. Okay, dopamine phantom. Expectancy waste, 50 to 80% of total dopamine release occurs here, not at consumption. So that's actually interesting. There's no source for this, and it's an LLM too. So I'm not going to be like, go tell all your friends these fucking numbers. But this is an interesting theory, even if it's somewhat true for the numbers. Like, if more than half of your dopamine release is not even the goal, it's about anticipating the goal. Like, maybe your psychology doesn't want you to get shit done, because the anxiety of wanting to get it done or having the goal feels better than the release of the goal, which ends that ends the loop of dopamine you're building. And it also means now you're back in purposelessness, and it's up to you to define a new goal, a new dopamine hit for yourself that you want. And that's kind of hard if you know, now have a, I don't think everyone has a brain like mine, you know, and it's kind of torture the way I live in a lot of ways. But, you know, I'm constantly setting those goals for myself and doing it. And it's like you know, the pig with the carrot stick in Minecraft? You're like the Minecraft character, right? On the pig. And the pig's your body, you know, you gotta like use the pig to do shit, to get shit done, to code. But you gotta set the carrot. You gotta figure out what the carrot is every day. It's fucking stupid, but it's how it works. Like it's stupid, especially knowing that's how it works, and you're like, what the fuck is going on? What is reality? But it's like, well, now that I know it's fucking absurd, might as well just, I know how it works. I'm gonna use it and get shit done if I want to get shit done, you know. So, um, I don't know. This is just yapping with an LLM on Twitch. Maybe that's what the name of the stream should be. I was gonna say Claude and I. That sounds like a Hallmark movie title. Claude and I. The reward topology over time. Picture dopamine release now speaks values as dynamic tension surface, ascending oscillations. Yes, I do think it's like this: up, down, up, down, up, down, and the amplitude increases. And I think a lot of people don't realize it's not like the graph can go negative. Like if you do Adderall, it's gonna be very positive for 4 to 6 hours, and then very negative for probably depends 6 to 8 if you're a fucking addict, then 3 weeks or longer. I don't say fucking addict as derogatory, by the way. My bad if that was harsh. I think you know, a lot of people don't realize it's not like you're building the dopamine wave. This is if I'm seeing it. I'll do this from this side because you're looking at me. It's not like this is bad. Like this is the bridge between feel good and feel bad, and it's not like this. It's like this, and the amplitude literally gets higher and deeper both ways. And I think like people don't realize, like, if you're living extremely high level dopamine life, you know, like with investment, with money as a dopamine releaser, as you know, with exotic women or men, whatever your partner's selection is, you know, or like there's a lot of adventure, novelty. Like you need periods of time where, or you, and you need period. There will be periods of time where you are equally dopaminergically unbalanced, but in the opposite direction. And that means like crushing depression, you know. That's why it's like people that are rich, that are like have maximum extremely high dopamine release, even egotistically, from money, they are the most empty. Because look at the fucking dopamine valley. Like their dopamine hit is $1 billion profit, so they're gonna feel the $1 billion profit scale of dopamine in terms of depression. So to me, it's like clamp it, you know, clamp it down, because like once you let it amplify like that, it's not sustainable. It collapses at a certain point. Whether it's like you get too fucking high and then you get too manic, and it's like, we made $1 billion this year, we gotta make 10 fucking billion, and then it doesn't fucking end, you know, and then you're working your employees to death. Or it's the other way around. It's like you get the 10 billion round, and then it's like the fucking crushing afterwards of the dopamine, the adrenaline going away, you know, and that makes people literally kill themselves. So it's like, just clamp it down, nurture the dopamine, the system you're building, the goal you're working towards, and then don't get too excited, and don't, so you won't get too upset, you know, throughout the process. And then I think it has a lot to do with like stoicism and things like that. If you want to look at it in a philosophical, practically applicable framework. But I don't know. I do think I would do, you know, like everyone likes partying, you know. I like working hard, playing hard, but you know, it's like harder you play, harder your hangover is gonna be. And you know, there's like, this isn't just one wave that you're working on. This is, especially if you're running a corporation, it's like there's a wave per department, per employee, per project. And these are like, you have to build the harmony of these waves and make sure not one of them gets too big and collapses, and then there's chaos. So it's very important to pace, you know, pace these things, and to have patience, not just with your work, but patience with yourself, in terms of allowing yourself to feel certain things. And it's not like, I say that as in like control your feelings, don't feel things, but it's like you can feel whatever you want to feel, just how you want to feel it and the intensity of how you want to feel it. Like if you find $20 in your pocket in your jeans, be happy, but don't fucking be so happy that you jump off a bridge or like, you know, like quit your job. So yeah, very big tangent. Yeah, exactly. You know, and I think it's like diminishing return completely on all these things, and it's like um, not only does making your win, or if you unfortunately lose, then you have to learn that lesson. You know, getting the dopamine hit or huge drop from the experience, whatever the PNL is, and then about not playing again for a while. Either it's a choice of like, I'm retaining my agency, I know where this is going, the returns on making more money, it's going to be exponentially more hard work and diminishing amounts of neural pleasure from the money. Like you're going to feel it's going to take more work to get from 1 million to 10 million, from 10 million to 100 million. That's how the goals work. It's exponential. It's exponential work for you and an exponentially growing size of employees. And the return on that, diminishing. 1 million is going to feel better than 10. 10 million is going to feel better than 100 million. But why are you playing the side where both sides are against you, the work and the reward? You know, it's like just step out of it, retain your agency, be like non-participant. Unless you're day trading and that's your living. It's a job, it's different. But and you know, like I think that's the only choice that leads to a probability in the future where you can come back, make even a modest amount of money, and then feel the same rush from it. Is leaving the casino. So the casino is fun again when you if you choose to come back in the future. But I don't know. I'm fucking 23 years old. I haven't had that much money in my life compared to a lot of people I've met, and I'm not one that has like written books on money management or anything. So I'm just saying like. You know, my advice is my advice and stretches as far as it stretches, you know, however you determine that. I don't know. Damn. The area under the anticipation curve consistently exceeds the consumption spike by a factor of 3 to 4. Is there paint.net? Or there's not Microsoft Paint on fucking Mac, obviously, but like, I'll just use Photoshop. There's this fucking girl's picture on here. I'm just gonna get custom. I need like 2 monitors so I can put the chat on the side. I can just move the sidebar. But what am I doing? I'm showing people I can't use Photoshop apparently. So if you do like dopamine, there's no point in this conversation. We're just talking, by the way. But it's like, let's say you're not mapping you're not using this as like a depression here, happiness here. You're just using this as like an overall accumulative dopamine release over time towards working. I can't spell. There's no spell check in Photoshop. Cool. Yeah, why not? Okay, so it's gonna look like, it depends if you take those dips I was talking about as net negative, then you know it'd be like this. Let's say we're only counting we're not counting those net negatives. You know, it's gonna probably be like this, and here's like when you accomplish the goal. We'll make it a little longer. This is not just like gone. But I think like you do like, oh fuck, what the oh my god. Green's a better color for accomplishing than red. Red's like danger zone. This is like, no, it's gonna be right here. Task. Oh, why is it? I'm so OCD sometimes. Completion. You know, it's saying that the net area and this is a cumulative, so area is like total dopamine so far in time. Time moves forward this way. The net area of this is greater than the area of this. So it's like, it's so paradoxical. It's like you set goals, but your brain maybe doesn't even want to accomplish them because it feels better not accomplishing them. It's more dopamine to not accomplish them. It's a fucking stupid reward system mechanism. And it's like a production of our evolutionary biology. That's just like, you got to understand it to fucking, work with it, because it's a bad engineering. But I don't know. I wanted to visualize that. Just this sentence. And then especially if you like self-sabotage, as they call it in psychology, and you just don't keep making this not happen. Like this, oh fuck, whatever. I'll just pretend this is painted. Okay, whatever. Apparently I don't know how to use Photoshop. But pretend this is yeah, like if you never complete the task, keep self-sabotaging, like it's infinite dopamine, it's like it feels good to procrastinate, literally. It's fucking stupid. That's just how the brain works, and you gotta like realize it and be like, laugh at it a little bit, and then make your micro adjustment, and then realize it's gonna keep happening. But just keep a good mood about it, and then yes, more life, more dopamine, infinite dopamine. I was thinking of naming the social media D2, like, because dopamine's it's not, there's different types of, there's one type of dopamine, but there's different, that could be argued too, but generally there's one type of dopamine, and then there's different receptor types. So if you look like, I was gonna name it D2, because like, social medias are dopamine casinos, and then it's like, well, why don't I just name it after the receptor for dopamine that controls why it's a casino? I feel like it's like a self-reinforcing name. Like, if anyone wants to take I should probably have not said that because it's kind of a fire name. Someone wants to launch something nearly reward based, in this case it's TikTok or social short form video hooking your reward system, if you want to name it D2, feel fucking free, or use the other dopamines. D1, I might have some issues with NCAA and college athletes. I guess all these do, because it's Division 1, 2, 3. Okay, I take that back, whatever. But yeah. Coherent phase locking, momentum in this context. So okay, momentum in this stupid Photoshop graph I made. There's a velocity, but rather coherent phase locking between multiple prediction area systems. What does it mean by phase locking? Excuse me. Your brain maintains momentum by generating micro predictions every 200 300 milliseconds, confirming just enough to maintain belief while preserving uncertainty. I do agree with this. I do think that the brain, especially like if you think about episodic, memories encoded episodically, right? It's literally like TV show chapters or episodes. It's like you remember things naturally in 90-minute cycles. It's as if your brain takes a snapshot every 90 minutes as like the frame rate, the heartbeat. If you think of it as like a blockchain of memory and life you're building on in your brain, your hippocampus. And your brain takes these screenshots of consciousness and then ties them together in a narrative that makes sense, But really we're experiencing life in essentially clay motion. Stop animation, it's like frame by frame, and it's really up to us to, and I think it's beautiful in a way, because it's up to us to fill in the gaps, and that gives us storytelling, and that gives us intent and human emotion, and like you can like if I have a partner, you know, and this is an abstract example, and I'm laying in bed with her, and like I move towards her, and like, you know, I cuddle with her or something, and then, you know, on like a snapshot framework, if you're just taking stimulation input into your brain, like if she's perceiving me doing that, it's like Jeffy is moving across the bed and then sitting close to me. But you know, there's narrative to it. It's like, you know, there's this whole relationship between us. There's this dynamic of love. There's all this history. There's emotions, and then there's emotional intent. Why I moved in a certain way, and then, you know, the reason I touched her in her arm in a certain way, the reason I kissed her in that way that time, and all that's free for us to fill in from these stimulation inputs we take of, you know, vision, hearing, and we take these snapshots and we literally paint over them meaning, you know, for, and then that's called experience, and you know, that's life, you know. And yeah, a lot of my partners aren't they live in different realities. They lived in different realities, unfortunately. So can't blame them. You know, everyone's opinion of reality is different, but you know, sometimes it comes to, if you tie two lives together, their interpretations or even understandings are not just different, but there's no two-way opening for understanding on both sides. It becomes, you know, miscommunication and then misaction, and then once those accumulate, they become fault and blame. Once they become, you know, past, they look back upon, and you know, those things make relationships fall apart. So it is what it is, man. Dopaminergic harmonics, waves of expectation at different timelines. Think of it as juggling. I probably shouldn't do that motion anymore now that I have a feminine body. Think of it as each spot represents a different temporal horizon of the same. Yeah, I could do the 6-7. But juggling is the reward. Catching all balls ends the game. This is true. Keep juggling your dopamine, but don't toss it so high that you're gonna miss catching it, and you know, you're gonna end the game anyway that way. You know, don't just catch them all. You know, you gotta figure out, maybe if you're juggling all through life, maybe it's your tasks, your ambitions, your core values that are the balls you're juggling. Is a stupid analogy, but they're the balls you're juggling, and those switch out throughout time, you know, but you're always juggling. For a stupid clown metaphor for existence. I don't know. Maybe I should have been a philosophy major, you know? Like I have a very interesting trains of thoughts about these things. Certainty collapse, learning exact probability removes is true. I do believe in Schrodinger's cat extrapolated to reality itself. Our stimulation, like sensory observation of the world, I think does not determine the world. Like if I don't look at the table's not like missing. It's not like I don't have object permanence. Like I don't understand object permanence, but it's like, I think it makes it real to me. If I look at the table, it makes it real to my consciousness. And that's a form of, as you move through time and are conscious through time, you have to build what's real at each moment, and each reality setting, input of stimulation, deciding what right now is, builds on the last one. So if I put the table in my stimulation and I say the table is real right now, the table is going to be real in my next conscious calculation of the world. You know, it's like seeding the thought further on. So that's where that, I'm trying to make an articulation where it's probably very nuanced and doesn't really matter. But oh, excuse me. There's a little cold going around I don't even know if this is a town or city. It's kind of in between, but my area. The ludic loop. I haven't heard of this before. Gambling floor is designed to maintain your internal anticipation. Yes. I mean, that's Solana's whole business model right now. Because ETH does everything in terms of real tech, like ETH does it better. But Solana is culture, you know, and culture is not commodifiable. So what are you gonna do about that? Like, slot machines deliver rewards on variable reward ratio schedule. Near misses trigger stronger. Yes, near misses do trigger stronger dopamine releases than wins. This is a horrible analogy, but like edging is more pleasurable than coming if you have a penis. You know, like I think that's obvious example for men. Um, I think it's like, I think it's like the chance to make $1 million. It's like if it's like 99% valid, it happens. Those moments of like this is about to happen feel so much fucking better and more like then it's like the million hits your account, and then you're on the downward trend of that dopamine spike. Fucking gooner ass example, Jesus Christ. What a society we're in. Yeah, I mean, optimal uncertainty. I don't know if that's the right percent, but perhaps there's probably a lot of psychology research on that, and maybe perhaps 30 to 40% of expected success rate. You just gotta feel someone. Again, if you're in the casino in Vegas and you're designing it, you gotta make someone constantly feel as happy as they would feel winning the jackpot, but only 30% of the happiness, and keep them at that level, keep them hooked. Yeah, like winning the jackpot makes you guilty or makes you satiated or makes you be like, what's the purpose of all this? And also makes you beg the big question. It's like, well, if my gambling ends, what was all that time for? You know, and it's like, if you're empty with the money, then you can't say it's for the money because I feel empty with it. Then it's like existential, right? It's like, what did I spend my time on? What did I spend my life on? And you have money and you're rich and you have a bunch of time to think about that and it drives you crazy. So just go back and gamble, you know? I get it, people, you know? I'm not going to blame people for doing that shit, but it's just a byproduct of human psychology and literal biology, you know? It's destroys the carefully maintained uncertainty gradient. It does. Faces concentration with the arbitrary nature of the pursuits. Yes. Are we all in love with the pursuits? Like, Kylie Jenner is a billionaire because every guy on the planet can't fuck her. Like, that's kind of the reason she's a billionaire. You know, it's just like, because they're all markets selling sex, you know. So I don't know. That's a very jaded, that can get me in trouble with certain communities. I'm not going to go too far on that one. But you know, what does this mean for crypto markets? What does it mean for the average crypto trader? What does it mean in identification and first time articulation using new language as needed of the incentives and economic design, whether emergent through market behavior in humans or orchestrated and designed by coordinated efforts like institutions. What would be important for traders, builders, thinkers, conceptual, I was gonna say conceptual hoes. It's like, if you're like into just thinking a lot of different ideas, you're kind of like an idea hoe. I don't know if they'll will get that without me explaining it, so I'm not gonna say that. Conceptual ability and flexibility to and desire to see from all perspectives, not just advice, but observation on the system, global, existential, human level, and also in the day-to-day, practical, pragmatic, usable in practice, whether life, psychology, trading, building, ideating, etc. This is a brain dump. Answer freely. Use literature and prose. Use grammar and language in however you want, modeled after my use and extending it. No shorthand. Write something beautiful, dangerous, and fuck it, fun. I am considering writing a book. We'll see if that happens. I will publish books by the time I die, assuming I don't get hit by a fucking bus. But you know, I will publish books before I die. So it's coming. It's just a matter of what I want to write. Yeah, you know, I'm thinking of questions of like, you know, the prominence of, you know, books as legacy. You know, it's like your contribution to the discourse of humanity itself in history. And also I'm thinking of all the AI slop for automated books coming out. And I don't know, maybe I just haven't done a lot of thinking in terms of what I want, the impact I want there for what I'll write. But yeah, I do want to write a book, you know, all that being said. I could have just said and ended with that. Wow, the dopaminergic. I need a tissue. The dopaminergic casino at the end of the world. Crypto as humanity's terminal anticipation machine. Is this a LLM psychosis conspiracy theory? Or is this based, valid, in facts? Let's see. Crypto isn't a market. It's a collective neurochemical experiment. I do agree. It's a matter of perspective. It's also a market if you have certain definitions of what a market is. It's not saying it's not both. 8 billion lab rats built their own maze and forgot they were the ones who designed the exits. Kind of fire. Every candlestick on that chart is fossilized dopamine spike. Someone's Tuesday night conviction that this time they found the pattern to signal the alpha that everyone missed. That's what Jeffy was. It's literally fossilizing the dopamine spikes in the history of the chart. You know, and I think it's beautiful to state that all crypto is that. You know, it's also proof that we were here and we traded. Like that's, in terms of like a anthropology standpoint, if you wanted to look at like what does a market chart mean in terms of human history, well, it means I was fucking here and I fucking clicked buy or sell on something, or I degenerate on something, and there's a little movement on the chart or a little spike on the volume at the bottom, and if I'm completely forgotten, that won't be forgotten. It's kind of cool. I don't know. Architecture of eternal maybe. I need a tissue. Hold on. I'm gonna blow my nose before I keep sniffling. A memento. You guys should have music on. I don't know if I think, but I feel like I think different with music. Definitely more abstractly, especially about making art. That's cool, but we could hit a. I don't know. We could play music. We could vibe. I don't know. When has crypto ever arrived? Even Bitcoin 100K. It is at 100K. It's not a rival. It's what it's spitting. It's another floor for another anticipation cycle. Remember when we were all like, Bitcoin 100K? Is Bitcoin gonna be 100K? We were saying that shit for fucking months. It happened. And it's the same conversation with a different number now. Crazy shit. Crazy shit. I'm trying to check my stream, by the way. Just make sure shit's working. I feel like I got Thread Guy popped up. I feel like it's the only person I actually check the stream sometimes on. We got 8 people here. I'm happy that all 8 are here. Y'all know what's up. I don't really care, even if no people are here. I'm just talking to the void. Maybe I'm practicing articulating my thoughts in case I need to do an interview or pitch to a VC. who knows? Everything's cool. The market has achieved what no drug dealer could ever. A product that gets you high on the promise of getting high recursively forever. Is that kind of a banger tweet? Someone steal that and tweet it. I don't know. Feel free to do that. I don't really care. That's kind of fire. Watching order books cascade, experiencing Schrodinger's wealth, simultaneously rich and poor until they close their positions. It's true, because if you have a position open, it means you could hit it big, or it means you could lose it all, and it's undetermined until you close the position. Literally, Schrodinger's degen. I don't know. I'm quantumly investing in the trenches. Excuse me. The average crypto trader is unconsciously optimized for maximum uncertainty maintenance. They take profits too early or hold losses too long. They're not bad at trading. They're perfect at it. If you understand that trading isn't about money, but about maintaining optimal distance from certainty. I should have sold or I should have bought more is the system working perfectly, keeping you in that golden zone of eternal approach. The incentive architects know this. Here's where it gets dark and delicious. Dark and delicious. We're talking markets, right? Not like we're not going to 11 at Miami, right? Like type shit. The institutions, the market makers, the exchange designers, they're not building casinos, they're building dopamine farms. Sadly, this is true. And I don't think it's not that they're building casinos. I think they're building casinos that are dopamine farms. I feel like this response is very black and white, and it's really mutually these things are true. They are building casinos, but they're also, how do the casinos work? They are dopamine farms. And you're not the customer, you're the crop. Damn, you're not even the product. You a fucking corn. Shit. Yeah, man, have a good one. Enjoy your dinner. I will stay based, even if the world is unbased. You know, that's what I'm here for. Have a good night, man. Enjoy. Appreciate it. I love you too. Consider the design choices, iron choices, 24/7 markets. Yeah, I don't know. Whale games and crow dreams. If I read fast, you know, I can get to the good parts and talk about them, but then I'm like reading quietly. Maybe I should just like speed read out loud. I don't know. Excuse me. Should I like retweet the link? Should I stream this on Twitter too? I'll retweet it. I don't know if anyone's really gonna hop on. I don't really care. I don't even have the stream count open for how many people are in here. I actually don't see it on my screen, so this is interesting. I think this is such like a doomer take on crypto though. The final non-financial advice. This is good. If you really want to trade well, don't learn technical analysis. Learn to read your own anticipation patterns. That's also why every fucking trading book's gonna be fucking bullshit. Because you gotta learn yourself, and there's no book about yourself. It's all about observation and then engineering it. I think there's books that teach you and help you with metacognition. You know, not just thinking and how to think, but stepping out of your thinking, observing it. Not in a dissociation standpoint, but from a retainment of agency and like meditation, you know, observing your thoughts, exactly that. And then from there, you collect enough data on your own thoughts that you can not control them, but arc them towards the outcomes you want in real life. Give them a little gentle, you know, you're herding sheep. The sheep gonna be moving, eating grass, doing all that shit. Herding. You're like a shepherd. You're executive part of your brain, the executive control, the higher domain parts of your brain, the prefrontal cortexes, the frontal cortexes in general. That's the shepherd. For a biblical analogy. Um, this is good. Yo, if someone's just stealing this and tweeting it, like, feel free. Just get your engagement, man. These are good quotes. The house always wins because the house knows the secret. We're not here for the money. We're here for the maybe. It's facts. They're not here to provide you an opportunity to win. They're here to provide you a market that sells you the idea of winning. And that's it. You're the product of the market. The market isn't the market itself. The market is you. It's a bunch of people scrambling and giving them fees over their maybes. It's a cold, cold game. Bundle up, as that one meme says. The cosmic joke is that Satoshi gave us trustless money, but what we rebuilt was trust and trustlessness, faith and faithlessness. I feel that. A church where the only sacrament is refreshing the portfolio page and whisper screaming, holy fuck, at 4 a.m. when a green candle validates your entire existence for exactly 13 seconds before you start anticipating the next one. Yeah. We're all going to make it because making it was never the point. The point was the going, the eternal going. Sisyphus rolling the stone up the mountain. It's not about rolling the stone at the top of the mountain. It's going to roll the fuck back down. It's about being happy, appreciating, gratitude. Taking it moment by moment. So many perspectives look at rolling the stone up the mountain. Read Camus. If you haven't read Camus, your little philosophy interest, fucking love that shit. Welcome to the casino at the end of the meaning. Your chips are the dreams and your dealer is yourself. Place your bets. Next candle could change everything. It won't, but it could, and that's enough. That's everything. That's all we ever had. That's all the trenches are. I don't know if I could put it in a better way. I probably have tried, you know, but it's a good take. This is a good take. I like it. I feel like this is a little boring, but I don't know what to do right now. I'm kind of chilling tonight. I don't really have friends. I don't really have, I have less friends now, but I don't really have plans with friends, is what I meant to say tonight. So, maybe we'll try on some fucking music and see what's popping. I don't know. How does this work? Can I like view my Twitch stats through OBS? I don't know. I'll just look at it. We got 5 people on here. I guess streaming is pretty hard in the sense of like maintaining attention. It's like doing stand-up, but like it's online. So people's attention spans are way shorter than for something they paid a ticket for and are like would put effort into engaging in, you know? So I feel like streaming in that sense, like obviously if I'm playing fucking Fortnite, then it's like there's shit going on in the game, you know? So it's like you're constantly engaged. It's like you're watching a YouTube video with the Minecraft gameplay as the background video. But if I'm just talking like this, it's like I'm doing stand-up pretty much, you know? It's interesting, you know? I respect streamers a lot, but that brings in like, do you respect the profession of streaming? I think like in terms of originality, and like having to stay, you know, something to say for fucking, if you're doing a 24-hour stream straight through, I have something to say for 24 hours straight and talking that much, my voice is I'm gonna lose my voice if I talk that much right now because I don't do that every day. That's respectable. But in terms of, if you ask me about the overall capitalistic structure of the streaming model, attention economy, I might have some different takes on that. So I respect streamers. I don't know about the stream economy overall. It's like I respect religion, you know, and I think everyone should have their own relationship with God, and whether that relationship is believe in God or not at all. And I just don't think organized religions that there's a lot of money involved. I'll just say that, you know, so that makes opinions difficult. But you know. Yeah, I'll just say that. New album's out, by the way. We can run a song.
in these Jordan 11s, stacking money like Tetris, but ain't no point in flexing. My girl said she got leverage, know that end in severance. Know my baby gone by breakfast in the Los Angeles Westin. I said, baby, you don't know what my problem is, cause you ain't listening. Devil on my shoulder saying you haven't sent. That time came and went, trapped in cages, and you're offering an if when I need a win. Don't pretend, just hit send. Lately I need it, oh yeah, yeah. Wake up the whole in my bed.
Six, seven. All right, I'll come back. I'll come back, and we'll do like a nice stream. Maybe I'll. Oh fuck! I gotta look up figure out to. I don't know what Twitch allows for what you're allowed to do on it. Looking at that when I'm gone. Figure out what I want to do when I come back, and then run a nice stream. We'll see what happens tonight. Peace. Thank you guys so much. I meant to do a salute and then I messed it up. Thank you. Thank you all for being here. And if it's for this last minute of me talking, I'll be back maybe in like an hour or two. I might take a shower too. And we'll I was gonna say musty, but I don't want to be known as the musty person. So I'm gonna get unmusty, so I don't, you don't have to think I say that. So, yeah, thank you. I know, like, I feel like it's like very intellectually dense, just in the sense of like thinking weirdly, not even the sense of like I'm being autistic and info dumping on something and like that type of intellectualism. It's just like weird intellectualism because we're also doing all this to talk to a fucking robot that's talking back and on my screen, But yeah, I'm glad it was lit, and I'll prompt more. I think that was fun. We'll find a way to make it more engaging too, especially if I stream more. Maybe there's more people going on the chat anyway. It's like a bunch of people are giving me ideas what to say anyway. It's always more fun with more people. Anything is. But I appreciate you guys, and I will be right back. Not bye. I'll be right back.